Welcome to Feral Friday Podcast, Unhinged and Unbothered, a podcast where we talk about smut, monsters, fanfic, and everything in between. Listener discretion is advised. Please see the episode description for additional details.
The sound of a rumbling truck wakes me, but I'm not ready to get up. I pull my pillow over my ears and groan. I stayed up way too late reading the night before. It was a just one more chapter kind of night, and now I deeply regret it. It's a Saturday, and for once I don't have to work the weekend shift at my shitty retail job at the mall. I realized the harder I worked and the better employee I was, the more they relied on me and my reward, working the more difficult, busy weekend shifts. So I decided to be a slacker, and now I get the weekends off. Goal accomplished. But it's been so long since I had weekends off, I no longer know what it feels like to have a life. I'm 28, and I just spent my free Friday night reading monster smut. I mean, I have zero regrets about my reading choices, and the 3 orgasms I was able to rub out. But shouldn't there be more to life than quiet nights spent at home fucking yourself? Shouldn't I be getting out into the real world and finding a real man to rock my socks? Or is there a reason I gave up? Real men just don't compare to my gorgeous book boyfriends. I'm resigned to be a boyfriendless virgin forever. Thinking about my latest book boyfriend makes me sleepy morning horny. I'm not fully awake, and I could spend some time playing with my pussy in this delicious half-awake, half-asleep zone I'm in. I reach down, feeling my slick warmth. I've never been with a man, but I've learned there is more than one kind of orgasm and more than one way to get me there. Right now, I want it quick and smooth, and just thinking about the monster from my latest read turns me on, and thinking about him fucking me full of his babies is enough to plummet me over the edge of my orgasm. And since I live alone in my tiny little house, I don't hold back on my vocalizations. Moaning and keening and finally letting out a scream of release always seems to make the orgasm hit so much harder. When I'm done, I lay panting and drift back to sleep. But it's not long before the creaking, metallic sounds of someone working in a moving truck, shifting boxes, and using a rickety fridge cart wake me up. I crawl out of bed and peer out my window that faces the street. There's a moving truck across the street, and, well, fuck, is that a man? Or pile of chiseled, sweaty muscles parading as a man? He's carrying a large box from the truck to the house. And wait a hot damn second, is that man an orc? And that was an excerpt from I Fell in Love with the Orc Next Door, a short and steamy fated mate story by Nella Knoxley.
Wow.
Who doesn't want an orc moving in next door?
Right.
Also, that sounds like a great weekend to me.
Yeah.
Right?
We don't need to strive for more than staying home on a Friday night and reading.
No. And then
All the smut.
waking up and like masturbating and falling back asleep sounds fantastic.
It does.
No one's bothering you.
Yeah.
There's no
This is-
chores.
This is peak life.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
all about it. And then some hot orc moves in next door.
Right.
Like, hello.
Yeah.
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 Perfect. Perfect.
I see nothing wrong with this.
No.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. At all.
Mm-mm.
It was
She's
a
like,
cute story.
"Mm."
It was short. It was
Yeah.
like 26 pages maybe.
Oh,
Oh, I'm reading
perfect.
that.
Yeah, and it was short, and you get both their point of views. You know, they did it. They're fated mates, so shocking.
Of course.
Yeah, they bang without knowing each other's names, but it's okay because they're fated
Okay.
mates.
Yeah.
Well, and
They
they're
were meant
neighbors,
to
so,
be.
You know, just
Yeah.
gotta check the mail in the mailbox to figure that
Yeah.
out. You know.
It's fine.
No taking them to Starbucks the next morning.
Awkwardness. You don't even need to deal with it.
What's the name on the order? She's gonna give her name.
Do you want to spell it for them? You should spell it for them.
Sure.
Stella.
Well, Sarah, too, you always find great shorties, so I will definitely be adding that
They're
to
my jam.
PBR.
Anytime. Just let me know if you need a quick hit. I got you.
Now, with that said, Sarah, too, what are you reading this week?
I'm in between books right now. I finished one of the Orc books last night, and I finished Bonded by Thorns that I was reading last night. And I am upset because Bonded by Thorns was so good, and it ended on a cliffhanger. Like, just now I have to read the next one. So I think what I'm going to read this week is going to be the second one, because I'm so
Alright.
pissed off that it ended on such a cliffhanger. Like,
Wow.
it's the slowest burn in all of history. And Maria, I know you're reading it, so I don't want to ruin anything for you, but it is such a slow burn that we got to get to book 2 at least.
Oh, there was
Like-
nothing?
There was, but it wasn't with the FMC.
Oh. Oh.
What? How?
Mhm. And it was
Oh.
good. And it was good. Like,
Oh.
the book
Like-
is so good.
Male on male?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Mhm.
I could
Okay.
see some of that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
And, you know, it's such a good book. And I know Ivy has said this before with the rating system of Spice is, you know, how many times do you have a little fun by yourself due to the book? Several times.
Okay.
Several times. So, like,
Okay.
even though it's the slowest burn in history, it's still top notch. So,
So
I
there
think
was
I'm gonna...
some thorn crossing?
Yes. There was.
Love it.
I couldn't
Love
leave
it.
I had to
Yep.
giggle at that.
So I think I'm gonna start book 2 because I gotta know what happens. I gotta know.
All right.
Well,
Yeah.
that sounds promising.
Yeah. Who am I asking? Who am I talking to?
You're talking
Um,
to Sarah 1.
Sarah 1, right?
Yeah.
What you reading?
I'm having one of those weeks where I once again am just in a pile of books. I'm listening to multiple things. I'm reading multiple things. So I am currently in the middle, like smack dab in the middle of The Gargoyles Captive by Katee Robert.
Another
It's-
Katee Robert.
Another Katee Robert. It's really good. It's kind of like it's not even grumpy sunshine. It's grumpy.
Oh.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. So, and you know, Katee Robert, you get your spice pretty fast. I think would say like the 30% mark.
Excellent.
We
Yeah.
like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's great. And then I just finished up an arc of Finding the Troll's Heart by Lyonne Riley. And if you've read Lyonne Riley, you know that their books are great. Lots of monsters, lots of fucking. You kind of get your spice pretty early on, like usually by 20%, maybe at 30% at the latest. And then it's usually pretty consistent after that. Which is really nice. And that one is fun because you have a hero FMC it's a grumpy sunshine situation again, but there's also a pretty significant age gap. And you got trolls and you got orcs, and it's just really good. It was really, really good.
I'm gonna
I
have
really liked
questions
it.
on that later.
Yeah. And then listening to a couple things too. So it's just juggling a lot of things, but having fun. Kitty, what are you reading? What are you not reading?
I am not reading everything. I'm, still just in a funk. So, you know, I like to say I'm still reading Running Up That Mountain and I'm still reading Dracula. But Dracula, I am already like 5 days behind. I just like, I don't know what's wrong with, well, there's nothing wrong with it, but like there's just so much going on right now. I just don't have the like attention
No
span
spoons.
to like read. Like
I feel you.
I pick it up. I literally have this week picked up my Kindle, turned it on, just looked at the words and been like, there are too many words. And I just turn it back off. I'm like,
Too many.
there's too many words. I can't, like, I just do not have the brain with everything going on. So
Yeah.
we'll try again next week.
That's
See how
okay.
we
Luckily,
go.
you've like read a lot earlier this year.
I've
that
already read
you're
60
still-
books this year.
Yeah,
like,
you're
it's
still ahead of
fine.
us.
It's fine. But like now I haven't read anything for like a month and a half.
So it's really good that you got ahead of the game when you did, because
did.
you're just giving
I
us all
did.
time to catch up. So
I
thank
know.
you.
It's just oh, and next month is not. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting year. We'll see how it all shakes out.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You
It's
just-
not a competition.
You just got ahead of
course.
yourself. That's all.
I did. And you
You're-
know, last year I read so many books. Maybe I'm just like,
You're burnt out.
maybe I'm just a little burned out. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I love everything about reading. And
Yeah.
all the books, so still here.
Yeah. Sometimes your brain just needs a little break. I did
A
it
little
last
break,
week.
Yeah.
Like I was
The
like, I'm
little
gonna watch
gerbil
TikToks
in
for
your
an
brain
hour.
is like,
Yeah.
my God, woman.
Like they say like when you sleep you like process all the information like from the whole day, so maybe my brain is just like trying to
catch
process
up.
all of the
Little
information
gerbil is like,
from all of the books I've read in the last year.
Have you considered maybe doing an audiobook?
I have tried, and so the other thing is that I've been carpooling for work, and usually because I have an hour commute every day. So I
you
haven't been
don't
listening. No.
Want to listen to Girl Dick with a
No.
coworker?
No, definitely not.
I think you should
Especially
try.
since that coworker is my mom. Like, no, not doing that. No.
I don't think that would be appropriate.
No, I don't think
Do
that's
it.
I don't think that's what we need. So,
I
and
think you
that's
should do it
been-
and just play really stupid and be like,
I
someone
didn't
recommended
know.
this to me.
I had no
God.
idea.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's also been part of, I think, my problem, because, like, I don't have that guaranteed hour
You don't have that
reading every
time,
day.
right.
And so, yeah, so it's just, a whole thing. But Marie, what about you? Welcome back. We missed you last week.
I was over in Vegas. We had a
God.
blast, but I'm very happy to be home.
Yay. We're happy to have you.
Mhm.
I am currently about 3 chapters into Bonded by Thorns by Elizabeth Helen, what Sara too just finished
Yes.
reading. I'm a little anxious because now I know it ends on a cliffhanger. But I also know that there's
Ruh-roh.
more books already published, so I'm not
Right.
gonna suffer too bad.
Right. I mean, I'm excited for you to read it because it's so good. It's so good.
Well, I mean, if you enjoyed yourself without
4
there
times.
being
That's so many.
It's so
that is so
many.
promising, though. I love that. Without there actually being anything with the female main character.
No.
So I am very much looking forward, and now I know what I'm doing as soon as we are done recording this.
Yeah.
And I will give some feedback next week.
All right.
And I think with that, we will bring in, I do see we have an oopsie corner.
Yeah, I have
Oh,
one
do
oopsie
we?
corner. I just said my
Oh.
book wrong last week. I said I was reading Midnight Beauty. I was reading Moonlight Beauty.
Oh.
Close
And
enough.
I didn't even catch it until Sara posted our stories last week. And I was like, Moonlight Beauty? I wasn't reading Moonlight Beauty. And then I went and looked and I was like, oh, I sure was. So it was a good book. It was on the spice level, there was 1 pepper. Because there was really only 1 solid spicy scene. But it was good.
Fair.
So, and there wasn't as much shifterness going on as I hoped. Because there was, when I said Beauty was the Beast, she was a werewolf. But she wasn't werewolfing as much as I hoped. So, I was like, go full tilt. Come on.
Right.
So-
Selective
Lose your shit.
Yeah. Do it. So, anyways, but yeah, it was a good one. But yeah, this week we are talking about some more monsters.
Mm-hmm.
What are we
Orcs,
talking about?
trolls, gargoyles.
Yeah.
And golems.
And golems.
Golems. Yep.
All things of that nature,
Yeah.
and that I guess would be a Venn diagram because tropes Trolls and orcs, and then gargoyles and golems are a little bit different, but I feel like they all kind of go together. They're kind of can fall under like gothic romance sometimes. But I have been absorbing a lot of those novels this week, and it has been a lot of fun. I forgot how much I love them all so much.
Yeah, I was excited for Orcs because in Company of Fiends, an orc is one of the main guys, and I remember like loving it. And so I was like, yeah, some orcs. And then I was a little disappointed by the book that I read in terms of the orcness, but it was a very good book. Like I was into it. I was really into it. But the orcness was basically just a couple of times it was mentioned like, oh, they went to make out and he had to tilt his head because of his tusks.
Oh, yeah.
And and he's giant, he's 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
But like that
but
was
what about the
kind of it. There wasn't that much to it. And so what I read, this has been on my Kindle since Stuff Your Kindle Day last year. And it's called Claimed by the Orc Prince by Lyonne Hart.
Oh.
And it is a male fantasy. So it's an orc prince and an elven prince. So like the big thing is like the orc is giant and the elven prince, I don't know, is not giant.
He's normal sized.
Right, I guess he's tiny. I don't know. Not like tiny, not like a troll, but like
normal size.
So yeah, like he's just a guy. And so that's all it really was just like he's really big and the elf guy's not really big. And they have sex. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was good. Like it was good. It was a good book. Like I was into it. The plot was good. There was a third act breakup.
Oh no.
That really pissed me off. But it was fine. It resolved quickly. But yeah, I feel like the monsterness could have been more.
Could have been
more a thing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm reading it for.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like so Lyonne Riley does a lot of monster, like troll and orc, and there's actually one called Finding. So I did Finding the Troll's Heart recently, but my previous book that I read of theirs
was Keeping the Human's Heart?
Yes, Keeping the Human's Heart. That one I loved, and it was orc and troll, male couple.
So is the troll really small?
No.
They were
That's my question.
equal-ish size, but there was a height difference.
Okay.
And then the human joined, and then they were a throuple. And then, of course, the human was smaller. Yeah. So you had sword crossing, and then you had, DP, and but they were farmers, and it was so cute.
It was really cute. Although that one had the so it was one where they didn't all speak the same language, right? So
there was a miscommunication.
It was a huge miscommunication.
Yes, it was.
It was
not good.
It was not good. It was not good at all.
No. But I mean, it was.
But
still
it was
cute.
a cute book. Yeah.
Yeah. They made up for it in the end. Yeah, and she does short ones. They're usually like under 200 pages. And then Finding the Troll's Heart. There wasn't a third act breakup. There wasn't miscommunication trope. It was enemies to lovers. Breeding. It was breeder. There was lactation. Kink. But it was very brief. Like I was definitely expecting to go into it being like a full-on thing, and it was like briefly mentioned, and I was like, oh, that was it. Okay, cool. So, but yeah, like I don't know. I found that I like the size difference kink with the trolls and
it's interesting
and the orcs. Like, there was in this most recent one, there was the painful, she called it painful sex, trope, because of the size difference.
I mean,
Oopsies.
that seems realistic.
Yeah, I mean, it was
Right.
realistic, and they talked about it like even years later, it was still an issue, but they liked it. So,
Oh,
like,
wow.
you go, girl.
There is a very fine line between pleasure and pain.
Yeah.
And
Right.
if you thread it carefully,
Yep.
it
Exactly.
can be very nice.
Yes. But she enjoyed it. And I was
Well,
like, that
good.
sounds kind of nice.
That's all that counts.
Yep.
All that counts.
So, but yeah, so yeah, I like them. And then I know we had in the book club read some
Orc.
What was that?
I didn't read that
Her
first orc one.
King.
Yeah, I didn't read that one.
Zoe Ashwood, which we have discussed on the pod in season
Right.
1, probably in one of
Mhm.
our like very first episodes, because this was not a book that I enjoyed. It was okay, but it had some of my like no words, I guess we'll call them. And it was this one had like 4 million instances. If you go back and listen to that episode, I actually counted how many times the book used the word pearl.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh, that was that one?
linen.
The pearl discussion.
The
Yes.
pearls
Oh, linen.
and the linens and the leather. Like, it was just, I don't know, for some reason, it really wasn't a big deal. Like, for some reason, I just latched onto those things and could not let it go. Like,
Well, when it's over and over and over.
I just couldn't, like, and like the story was fine. Actually, this series was it was almost Aaron's top series for the year last year, and then something else beat it out like the day of our episode that we were recording. So like, obviously there's definitely merit in it. It just was not my favorite cup of tea.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Yeah, so that was the other one we read with the Smut Heathens.
Yes.
And the gargoyle, the extra virgin gargoyle.
by
Oh, I
Honey
remember
Phillips.
that one. That
Which
was
that
so
one-
random.
It was like, we talked about this a little bit last week, that I do love Honey Phillips, but extra virgin gargoyle was very cheesy. Like,
Yes.
I thought it was cheesy but great. But I like
Okay.
cheesy. Like, I'm entertained by it.
I also like cheesy. I thought it was a little too cheesy for me, which is, I didn't know I had a 2 cheese meter, but
Apparently you do.
Apparently
There
I
is
do.
such a thing.
There is
Yeah.
such a thing.
It was a pepper
but
jack cheese because it was spicy, so you know.
Something, yeah. It did have some very cute moments, and
I don't remember a lot from it, but I remember him sitting in a tree. And of course, she like inherited a bookstore or some shit.
As you do.
Like, so many of these are like, I inherited a bookstore.
Yeah.
So she did that. He sat in a tree. He followed her home. He was angry for some reason. And then, you know, they were in love.
All gargoyles are angry. That's just how they are.
You know.
Are they carved angrily?
Yes.
I guess they are to be angry.
Well, they're like the
Maybe.
protector.
They're mean, right?
Yeah. I'm actually listening to an audiobook called Stone Cold by H.B.
Steve
Jacks.
Austin.
It's actually very good, and it's a reverse harem. There's 3 gargoyles. One is an alpha, and then there's one that's like silent and doesn't talk, and then there's one that's like the total goofball, and then like there's a human.
Cute.
FMC, but like it's really funny because like the alpha's like, I have to protect everybody and do the alpha thing, and the other one's like, like but like all the other gargoyles that we read about are like serious, right? Like, I'm here to protect and I'm here to do the thing, and like gargoyle, but like, no, this guy's like,
Do the thing.
I'm gonna go drink in the bar, bye. Like, so I like that different take on it. But speaking of orcs, Ruby Dixon does have one called The Half Orcs Maiden Bride, and that one's cool. Yeah, it's a shorty. Like the audiobook's only 5 hours. It's I guess it's part of the Aspect and Anchor series, but it's like a half like novella. And so I read it that I don't know where it fits into the story, that I don't recognize any of the other characters. But it's like a spinster, like, princess and a half orc who's kind of like a bastard kind of guy, and so they get together and live happily ever after kind of thing. But
Nice.
so that was kind of cool. But yeah, he's like half. He's got tusks, but he's not as big as a normal orc. But you know, I love Ruby. So
Oh yeah,
can't help it.
100%. That other one, the reverse harem gargoyle. I read a reverse harem gargoyle last year called "Deceived by the Gargoyles" by Lyonne Lark. And that one was really good. And it was also kind of that same idea. There were 3 gargoyles, and one of them, I don't even really remember, because it was like last October or something or November that I read it. But the gargoyles kind of lived in, like, I'm gonna say family unit, but that's not really, like, they're not family, but like none of them were related, but they kind of like a pack, or like I don't know what else you would call it, like in a Megaverse, like a pack, like,
yeah, the one I'm listening to calls it a roost.
Oh yeah, I think that is the word.
Yeah.
So this one has that, and these gargoyles, they can have they have like glamours that's like a ring, and so when they like put the ring on, then they look human. And so the one gargoyle, he meets the girl and in his human form, and they kind of like start to, you know, hit it off, and then like it's a big deal to like bring someone into the roost. So but then like she ends up getting with all of them, and it was pretty good. I liked that one.
Get it?
Lyonne Lark. She does some good.
I see her a lot.
Yeah. She also has like
I'm
dragon
not great about like following authors.
Yeah.
Yep, she has a Kraken one. But she's popped up a lot like in my searches for Monster May.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've read any of her stuff.
They're good. Oh,
and actually, Katee Robert, they're all over the place.
Yeah. This one, this series, it's like there's because there's like monsters and humans, and like humans don't necessarily know about the monsters, but there's like a dating like service that like pairs monsters with humans.
Ooh.
And so like that's how they meet, but the one gargoyle lies about being a gargoyle. Like he just kind of like presents like he's a human. So like anyway, it's a whole thing. So hence the title, Deceived by the Gargoyle.
Okay.
But that one's good. Last week we had touched on the Daddy Kink stuff, and I also have a Daddy Kink gargoyle recommendation, and it's called Titan.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Orc Daddy.
Oh, no. This one is another gargoyle. Titan by Jillian Graves. Yeah. And this one is like, oh, I really liked this one. And actually, I think I had read this before, because like as I was reading it, I was like, wait, I think I know what comes next. Like, so I must have read it a couple years ago and just totally forgotten. And this one, I think there are more books in the series, but I really liked this one. And they also have like the kind of glamour type situation with the ring, but she is like is she a sex worker? Yeah, maybe, kind of, a little bit. More like maybe. Oh wait, no. Maybe she's technically a sugar baby, is her thing. And he he isn't actually interested in a sugar baby, but like she has information that he needs, and so he like makes a profile on the like sugar baby website and like matches with her, and she like comes to his house, and it's like this whole thing, but it has some very nice smut in there, and it's a really good dynamic. I really like them. Yeah, those are my gargoyle recommendations for the moment.
I read a orc shorty.
Oh, that
was MMMF. Although not really, because the M's never really crossed swords.
Oh,
exactly.
So I forget if the M's are in the front or the back if they don't.
is there like a
There
thing
is
to
an
that?
actual technical order,
Oh,
which I think if they don't cross swords, the M's are in the front.
Okay.
Because like you'll see M M M F M M.
M, right.
Yeah, like sometimes you'll see an M on the after, and that's what
Okay.
that means.
Okay.
Yeah.
Today I learned.
Yeah.
So it was a really short one, and it's basically there's a princess, and 3 orcs show up in her room and like pound her for
Perfect.
some reason.
Just an orc gangbang? Like,
Yeah, basically just like we're gonna defile you. It's actually called Defiled by the Orcs.
Oh. Wow.
And I would just like to leave you with the last paragraph, which is a letter. So basically, she gets defiled by the orcs.
Uh-huh.
And then she runs away from home as a princess.
Oh.
And so, like, the end of the book, you know, the 15-page book, is, you know, the king has discovered his princess has run away. And this is the note she left for her king. I, Princess Selena, have left of my own volition and forsake my rank and title. I've discovered the pleasure of orc cock and can no longer go back to the life I once knew. I have gone to live. I have gone to live amongst the orcs to pursue my true calling, offering up a wet, willing hole for any orc cock that will fill me. Yours truly, Selena, the orc cock slut.
oh my god.
I love that. That is amazing.
Wow.
What a way to
End.
claim it.
The end.
The end.
Yeah. Yep.
Could you imagine finding that letter?
Oh, and also that letter came after what they found was the bed a hot mess with a literal puddle in the middle of
Ugh. That grossed me out a tiny bit.
Yeah, it was gross. It was gross.
Poor housekeepers.
I know. Can you imagine? Like, I quit.
Rude.
I quit. I'm not doing that.
Like, burn me at the stake. Like,
I'm not doing that.
no.
You're on your own.
Like, okay,
That is hilarious.
you're giving up your your crown. You can clean up after yourself before leaving.
Mm-mm.
You are no longer a princess, miss.
Like, or at least burn your own bed before leaving.
The
Rude.
stench. Oh, I don't think it would catch fire if there was a puddle of cum.
That's true. That's true.
I'm sure they could find
Is
some...
cum flammable?
We should try.
It's cum flammable.
Next episode, we'll be experimenting with science.
It's got sugar in it, right? Sugar's flammable.
Oh my god.
It's usually more salty than sugar.
Well, that's the taste, but it has carbohydrates in it.
Ooh.
Little swimmers need something. Oh, yeah, the audiobook I'm listening to, the Stone Cold, the 3 gargoyles, before the human shows up, they're mates. So they are crossing swords and doing the ditty all day long with the 3 with each other. So and it's pretty hot, if I do say so myself.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I read a lot of male this past week.
Yeah, I feel like
Not
with
mad.
the orcs and the trolls and the gargoyles, it's kind of
That's
like
more prevalent.
military, like when there's nobody else around, you develop those bonds.
Well, in the Claimed by the Orc Prince book that I read, which also another gripe that I had about it, is that it's called Claimed by the Orc Prince, and that is not at all what happened in the story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so basically there's the Elven Prince, and there's this orc guy from the orc clan, and they're, you know, at war, so it's like a peace treaty thing for them to get married.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was no claiming by an orc prince. He wasn't even a prince, really. Like, that is all false advertising. Anyways.
Yeah.
But like the elves, it kind of explains that like the way that they work is it's just they love who they love. They mate with who they mate with, and whether it's a male and a male, a male and a female and a female, they can procreate because of their magic. And it just kind of happens. So, like, the elven prince who gets married to this orc, not prince, he has 2 dads. And it's just this long line of dudes.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. And I do feel like with orcs, like all of these monsters, that breeding seems to come up a lot more. Like, they're definitely, like, much more concerned with, like, furthering their bloodlines. So I feel like the breeder kink comes up a lot more. Like, I'm gonna fill you with my seed and fill you with my whelps and my this and my that. So that's one thing I do struggle with a little bit more with these stories, and like definitely like navigating those kinks a little bit more, because I'm like, ugh, and like those tropes,
breeding
like
kinks?
it's not my thing. Yeah, like, you know, but ahead of time, because like most of those trigger warnings and those content warnings are there, so that's fine. If I know about it ahead of time, I'm fine. There's no surprise pregnancies, but yeah, it's definitely like, ugh.
See, I'm a major fan of the breeding kink, but like separated from pregnancy, because you can definitely have a breeding kink and not want to actually get pregnant. Or
I guess that's true.
Pregnant.
Yeah. I guess I am coming to terms with that, because there is a little bit of like that, like, fill me up.
Right. So is that just come in me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't necessarily want to get pregnant, but
Yeah. Like,
I just want to be a cum dumpster.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Exactly. You said it so correctly, Marie.
Yeah.
I
Marie
just want to
goes to
say,
Vegas and then she comes back.
That is going to be a reel this week.
I want to be a cum dumpster.
I was saying as in the characters, not me personally. Let me just make a quick note on that. And by the way, I googled it, and according to a website called Cameo Chemicals, which has a .gov ending, it
so
says,
it's official.
in theory, must be preheated before ignition can occur.
Preheated. Do I
So
put it in the
hot
microwave?
cum is flammable.
Interesting.
Pop it in the microwave for 30 seconds and then take a match to
Light
it.
on fire.
That would smell so bad.
Hot
Like,
spunk.
I'm sorry. Like, in the microwave, I'm sorry.
I hope you don't
can't.
reheat your food in there too.
This hot orc spunk's
Do it
on
at work.
fire.
Do it in the microwave.
Like, if you're gonna have to heat it, it needs to go like out on the barbecue or something. Like, not inside.
Barbecue. Barbecued orc spunk. Mm. What is this
Oh,
steak seasoned
God.
with?
Blah.
You know.
It's a nice
So
glaze.
extra salt,
Yeah.
a little
Nice
glaze.
glaze.
I am so sorry for this.
No, it's amazing. Thank you for your contribution. It's very important.
Oh my god.
So, yep, we went
Kitty
there.
stepped away, so Kitty doesn't even know how this
I know.
started.
I don't even really know what we're talking about. But it's
We're
fine.
talking about a hot spunk, which is going to be the new name of our podcast.
No, absolutely not.
Hot
No.
grilled spunk.
We are rebranding.
No. I veto. Downvote. Downvote. Downvote.
I will second Kitty.
This is a democracy.
I don't think I can do this.
No.
But then we can make t-shirts. Hot spunk.
Absolutely not. You can wear that t-shirt, Sarah, too.
I'll wear it with you,
Maybe
Sarah.
on a t-shirt.
I'll wear it.
Maybe on
Loud
a
and proud.
t-shirt.
I will not.
Or maybe a hat.
Nope.
We need to have like a barbecue grill on it with like steam. Yeah.
What if the steam was a little
Are we putting the
swingers?
mattress there too?
They need to have little halos because they'd be dead. And so
Upside down with little X's in their eyes.
If you are a graphic designer listening to this right now, please send us a
These
mock-up.
ideas are gold.
Please.
I said no, and then I came up with more ideas for this stupid
I
fucking
know.
t-shirt.
Thank you for your contribution.
Ugh.
Oh my goodness.
What is happening? What is happening?
Sounds
Who
great.
the fuck knows?
Who knows? That's true.
We're going back to our roots, which is monsters and
Shenanigans.
disgusting commentary.
Yep. This is us.
How it should be. How it should be 100%. I like it.
I'm telling you, we only look like angels.
I know.
That's it.
You, Marie, only look like an angel. And Kitty. Kitty looks pretty angelic.
Thanks. Thanks.
I got carded so many times.
In Vegas?
Take it.
Aw,
Take it.
That's sweet.
I wish. I would love to be carded.
I mean, it
Okay, I
happens a
look
lot
old.
more in Vegas than any other place. They're a little bit more on the up and up with the carding. So don't feel so
They
bad.
have to be.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah. Well, that's
Okay.
all the orc books I read.
We should talk about the golem. I don't know how to say this word.
Golem.
Golem.
Is it Golem? It's Gollum from
In-
Lord of the Rings, but Golem is the creature.
There we go.
I believe so.
In Rooksgrave Manor by Catherine Moon, which is like the
Chef's
creme
kiss.
de la creme
Mm-hmm.
Divine.
of monster
Everybody needs to read
smut.
it.
Everybody. It is top tier.
It's a prerequisite to listening to this podcast.
Seriously. Like, it has a little bit of everything. We'll probably talk about it
Mhm.
next week too, a little bit, for a different
Mhm.
character. But the golems are interesting, and I know that golems come from like Jewish culture, so I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't fully
like,
understand them. Like,
I don't-
still,
yeah,
like,
I don't,
what
like-
exactly they are.
Yeah, so like it's just interesting how like in this book in Rooksgrave, like he was made, and he wasn't necessarily made with the intent of like being able
Fucking.
to fuck
Right.
or like have feelings or like any of that, but he did develop feelings for the female main character and did get to fuck her. And it's interesting how
And
he
she
like
enjoyed it.
oh, she enjoyed it so
Mhm.
much. Oh, she was
And
so
it was
into
a very
it.
sweet, like,
He was very
turning from,
sweet.
you know, being nothing,
Yeah.
being emotionless, like just like a
Yeah.
physical being, to having emotions and caring.
He was
and a
not
total gentleman.
He was a gentleman. He was not my favorite character.
No.
He was my second to last of the men. This one was also a reverse harem, and there were 5 or 6 guys.
I think
I
I think there's 5.
I think
I feel
one-
like 5.
They include him.
yeah, he was the second to last in my ranking, but
That's fine.
yeah,
But he
Because
was
what,
like
there's a
her
shifter?
rock.
he was
Literally.
Farad.
Quite
Actually.
literally.
Yeah,
Literally.
like he was made to just be like a bodyguard
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and
A butler,
a butler.
technically.
Yeah, and he like grew these feelings. It was very interesting. Definitely recommend that book for
Mhm.
literally everyone.
It's a must.
And the next one after that,
the
company
next one.
theme.
I
It's
still
better.
haven't read that one.
It's better, dare
Ooh.
say.
See, this is why I don't want to read it. Because everybody says it's better, and like the first one is so good. How could the next one be better?
I know. I
almost
was
don't
also
wanna-
shocked.
Part of me doesn't want to ruin the the memory of
But
Rooksgrave
then
Manor in my
When
mind.
the Rooksgrave peeps show up in Company of Fiends, you're like, oh, there they are.
Yeah.
Like, you're like
Yeah.
excited to like see
I mean,
them again.
it's on my TBR. It's probably going to happen this summer because I'm going to have so much time to read, and I'm going to smash my TBR to like bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Right? Right?
Company
Right.
of Fiends is
Is that
so
the
good.
only thing you're going to be smashing, Sarah? On?
No.
Sorry, that was inappropriate.
Inappropriate on this podcast? What? This
You made me
good
We're rebranding the
Christian
Hot
Minecraft
Spunk. I mean,
podcast?
I will say, Company of Fiends does have an orc, if I
Yes.
remember correctly.
and the orc is amazing.
Yes,
Mm.
he's like one of the mains.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Interesting.
And there's tentacles, I heard too. So
I do like me some tentacles.
Multiple hands.
Multiple
There's a
hands.
pianist with like 6 hands.
hello.
I don't know how I feel
Mhm.
about that.
Isn't there tentacles though? Or was that in?
think so.
Yes, because they didn't they go see the tentacle show in.
Well, there was
Rooksbury
a
at the
tentacle
theater?
monster in the tank.
Might
Yes,
But
be
I
the
think it
company.
was like a monster, not a sexy monster.
He's not part. That monster isn't part of the harem.
Of the harem, yeah.
Gotcha.
It's
Yeah.
just somebody else in the theater.
There's-
They'd be part of the harem.
I think there's so what? There's an orc.
Ask
There's a
Katee.
demon. There's 6-armed dude, who I think is also
There
a
is
giant.
the imp.
The imp, yes. And then there's like a fae
Yes.
guy.
I don't know how I feel about imps.
Interesting. Interesting.
He's
Oh,
hot.
it's good.
Yeah.
He's called the
His
Gemini.
His scenes are hot.
Okay.
Mhm.
Maybe it's
Kitty and I are
been
both like,
long enough
"Mm."
now. Maybe it's been long enough
you're-
now that like I don't know. It's
If
like
you're
that
into
meme
that pain
where it's
pleasure
like,
thing.
What I do also like a lot about Company of Fiends
Mhm.
is that the female main character, Hazel Nix, is not human.
oh,
She is half human, half nymph.
Mhm.
oh, that's fun.
So you
might
get
have
the wood
just-
nymph
You
thing.
might have just hooked
Okay.
Kitty.
Okay, interesting.
That's a really fun turn. Like as the story goes on, like
Okay.
to see her kind of
Uh-huh.
embrace that is really fun.
I mean, Catherine Moon is amazing. Like,
A goddess.
she can do literally no wrong. She wrote Lola and the Millionaires. She wrote, what's the other genre that she's in? Isn't she Lola and the Millionaires? There's another.
Is Lola and the Millionaires not monsters?
And it's Omega.
No, it's Omegaverse.
It's Omegaverse.
It's
okay. 'Cause I haven't read
so.
that yet.
It is probably my favorite Omegaverse duology. I mean, the Alpha God one is like right up there, but Catherine Moon just can do no wrong. And Lola and the Millionaires, oh my god, I could do a whole episode about this. Like, the
I
main
gotta read it.
character,
That's on my TBR.
yeah, is a beta, not an alpha or omega. So like, it's just so interesting to read the story from the beta's point of view. And oh, she just does such a good job. It's just so good. Read it.
She has some orc
I-
and gargoyle stuff too.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
liked
okay.
Baby and the Late Night Howlers out of the Sweet Verse, but
I didn't read that one.
yeah.
I just read Lola. And I
I'm gonna
loved
read all of
it.
them because I
Do
love
it.
Catherine Moon.
Have I read what's the
Well,
Orc
she's got the
Gargoyle
Librarian's
Catherine Moon?
Coven. She's got so much stuff.
I know. Does
She does.
does
I'm
she
like
write
on her
Mafia?
website right now.
I feel like there's another
Um,
big genre that if she's written
There's
Gargoyle, I
Librarian's
need to read that.
Coven.
Read that.
Inheritance of Hunger, which is the Queen's Line, the Prince's Chosen, and the Kingdom's Crown. Those sound straight up my alley.
She's got a dragon book.
Yeah, the
with,
Dragon's the new
Bleak
one.
Isle.
What?
Oh, is it? Okay.
I love dragons.
Yep, the Librarian's Coven. Orc. She's got everything.
It really
Oh.
does.
Here it is, Sanctuary with Kings. That's the third in the Tempting Monsters series. After Company of Fiends is Sanctuary with Kings, which I haven't read yet.
Neither have I, but I did read the novella in between, The Basilics of Star Manor.
Basilisk.
Okay.
And it's the from like Rook's Graves.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and then she had the book that I read. I talked about it earlier this season, Good Deeds, where they're alien robots.
Alien. Okay, I was
In a
like, she has
brothel.
major.
Yeah. Which was very good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I love
What
it.
is this?
I don't know.
She has one. Oh, clicked on the wrong thing. Ghost Moon.
She's got
Moon.
so much stuff.
I know. I love it. Like all of the genres that we love and appreciate.
Yeah.
This one also sounds very interesting. Baker's Guide to Risky Rituals and The Knitter's Guide to Banishing.
Ooh. That sounds like cozy, like witchy mystery kind of.
Mm-hmm.
They're all on Kindle Unlimited, so
Perfect.
Love that.
Maybe
think
I
I'm
just
gonna
need to
go-
start a Catherine Moon backlog.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Oh, I gotta finish my. This year I'm also working on not smut, but I'm working on my backlog for. Shit, what's his name? I don't know why I brought this up. I can't even remember. I'm obviously doing really well. He wrote. Oh, I've read so many of his books. Hold on. I'm gonna be like, I'm so dumb.
Yeah, I've been catching up on my mystery, like psychological thrillers too.
Oh,
Yeah.
we should chat about that
Yeah.
offline later.
Mhm.
Somewhere where a kitty can't hear you.
Do you get
Or
scared?
she might cry.
Aw.
John Scalzi. He writes like sci-fi.
Okay.
So good. So good. Working on my John Scalzi backlog this year. Well, obviously not right now, but you know. Hypothetically. I have read like 6 of his books this year, so like,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
You do
fine.
have to read a little something else apart from all of this smut
I know.
I mean, I
to
read
kind of
like
keep your.
one
Yeah.
psychological thriller to every 10 smut books, maybe
Yeah.
to every
Right.
20 smut books.
It's
but-
mostly smut, and
yeah.
most of my non-smut at this point is catching up on this Sarah J. Maas.
So it's turning into smut.
Yeah.
Slowly.
Are you still
I
reading
know.
Crescent City?
So I finished the second one. I'm waiting for the third one to pop up. In the
Oh
feed,
my
which is
God.
gonna take months, and I'm waiting for the entire Throne of Glass bundle to come due in Libby, which I'm low key terrified for because it's like here's 9 books at once.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
That is
And
going to
that's-
be so much, but I could not put it down.
Oh, I couldn't either.
could not
Thing-
stop.
I listened to all of Throne of Glass in the month of December in 2022. And that was a lot.
Okay, but I
Yeah.
just saw today that
Mhm.
there's 2 different orders you can read it in. Chronological
There is-
or romantic, and now I'm like, shit.
Okay.
What do I do?
This is what you do.
Tell me.
This is what you do. You read the book Throne of Glass.
Number 1.
Number 1.
Okay.
Then from here, it really doesn't matter. But I would read the prequel, which is there's 5 novellas that have all been put into one book, and it's labeled as the prequel. But if you read it before you read the first book, you
It's
have
gonna
just
make no
fucked
sense.
yourself because
Okay.
it gives away the entire plot of
Oh,
the
okay.
first book.
Okay.
And then you're like, wow. I think that's what Marie did. Regret that.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I read Assassin's Blade
Assassin's Blade before Throne of Glass.
first
Yeah.
before Throne of Glass, but I will say I enjoyed it, even though it did kind of spoil some of it for me in the sense of like I already knew who the characters were when you're really not supposed to.
Yeah.
I enjoyed knowing that history of her going into it
Mhm.
because it made her a little bit more bearable every time I was like, this fucking bitch,
That's
bro.
true. That could be true. Because you also have to remember, Throne of Glass was the first book that Sara published, and she was like 17 or 18 when she wrote it.
That came first.
So the first couple books of Throne of Glass are a little tough to get through because it's just like, oh, this is very ridiculous.
Very different.
And
Okay.
as someone who is very witchy, you will be annoyed at the spelling of things and
Mm.
how she like changes and like pulls from like weird things. There's you're gonna be like,
She
why?
already annoys me with that.
I know.
In, like Crescent
So-
City, where it's just like
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to use this curse word, and it's like, hell.
Yeah.
Or hells.
So.
And like, there's no backstory. I just say
Yeah.
it, and it's like
It's fine.
kind of close to what
It's
you
fine.
know in real world.
Yeah.
Not
Yes.
that way. And I'm like,
So
shut up.
be prepared for like a 17-year-old who thinks she's really cool. So she spells everything really stupidly for no reason. Like, let's just put an AE in everything that doesn't need it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aiden.
But I didn't know all of that because I listened to the books. So then when I was like looking at memes and stuff, I was like,
I don't get it.
why is that spelled like that? And people were like, I don't know how to say the main character's name. And I was like, what do you mean? It's Selena. Like Selena Gomez, but with Selena. And they're like, that is not how that is spelled at all. At all. None of the
Maybe
names.
I should listen while I read because
Yeah,
I
so
still
you
call
should.
him Rysand.
No.
Reese.
it's Rysand.
So I listened to the audiobook of Assassin's Blade, and then I got the Throne of Glass book
At least
come
you were
up
a little
first
prepared.
on Libby. And I'm going, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Like, why? Why? This was not necessary. Kaol. I mean, Dorian is fine. That's like very normal, easy to pronounce. It's phonetic. But Kaol, that one, there's so much controversy.
Like the leafy green.
It's spelled like
No,
chaos, but with an L.
I just had that for dinner.
Chaol.
Yeah. Kaol. Kaol.
I totally pronounced it Cole when I was reading
Yeah.
it.
A lot of people did.
I was like,
And
oh, it's
again,
Cole.
like, I just didn't realize that there was all this controversy because I just listened to all of them. And then there's like, there's so many other names that come up that they're just spelled so stupidly.
It took me like 75% of the way through Crescent City 2 to realize that little bro was named Ethan, not Ethan.
Yeah, exactly. Why?
Like,
that was not necessary.
Literally was saying like
Stuff like that.
Ethan
Yeah.
It's
in my
stuff
head
like
the whole
that.
time,
It's
and then
Ethan.
like one day I was like, it's Ethan.
It's
like,
Ethan.
Stupid.
Yeah. Kitty. Is that Guppy? No,
Meow,
what's
meow.
his name?
That is Oliver.
Oliver.
That was 20 pounds of jumping from one
Oh my
unstable
gosh.
shelf.
Surprise!
He's invading Hogwarts.
He is.
I think there's a fly.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we just got way off topic.
Way off topic. We were so good for
Yeah.
so long.
I know it's been a minute since we talked about
My bad.
talked about Sarah J. Maas.
Since we started talking trash about
I know.
the Moss universe.
I mean, you have to. Like,
You have to.
you have to because, like,
Listen, I'm into it, but I'm going to talk trash about it.
exactly, and it
It's what
deserves
we
it, and
do.
she deserves it.
Yeah.
But like, but I still,
It's what we do.
I love Throne of Glass. Do I think it's actually like great writing? No, maybe not. Maybe not.
But I really enjoyed
But
it.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, people
Yes.
might think that we're mean girls on this podcast because we talk a lot of
Yes,
shit.
I am.
But it's
I
also
like
our
to talk
love
shit.
language.
Yeah.
It is.
So
Yes.
But if
It is.
you've been listening for any amount of time and you didn't figure that out, I'm sorry.
we're still reading these books. You don't
Oh,
see
yeah.
us not finishing these books.
No.
Mhm.
And
Not only reading them, but recommending
We're
them
still
and talking
recommending
about
them.
it constantly.
look, we'll still talk shit. We'll just be honest. Like,
And what
I
do they
will-
say? Any press is good press.
yes.
Yeah.
True.
I guess.
Like, we might not like tag an author if we truly
Oh yeah.
Right.
are gonna
Decimate
shred
them.
it and
We're not
decimate
gonna.
it
Yeah.
and be mean. But if we're like talking shit about your book, it means we love you. So just
We might also destroy you about one series and then praise you for another.
Yep.
This is true.
It's a little
Marie,
abusive. It's fine.
It's.
It's fine. It's a
But
little
also,
toxic.
You know what?
It's
We're human and we don't like everything, and that's totally all right.
and some of us love
and-
something, and then the other like half of us
Oh, yeah.
hate it.
We're like
So
absolutely not.
we're equal opportunity haters on this
We are.
podcast.
And we're like, you also have to remember that we're for the most part
T-shirt.
reading Kindle Unlimited, which
Yes.
I'm not to say that indie authors aren't good writers. There are amazing indie authors that are on Kindle Unlimited that we just Catherine Moon is like our
Right.
ultimate goddess that we would like if we got to like.
Ruby Dixon.
Oh my god. Like, which
Ash
Ruby's
Raven.
not indie
Stan.
anymore, but like seriously,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
many people. Yeah, Ash. I mean, there's so many
Leon
people that
Riley.
we're just like they are amazing. We love them.
And
And
then
there is
you
that.
find the 15 pagers that are just so poorly written.
Like going back to like old school erotica that like was the free on Kindle, like back when before Kindle Unlimited
Mhm.
like was thing, and you could like go through and find the free books on Amazon. That's we do look for those books.
75% of the books on Kindle Unlimited are absolute fucking garbage.
They are.
Mhm. I look for those specifically.
Yeah. And you know what? That's
and that's
fine.
with smut, and that's with anything on Kindle Unlimited. It's not
We're
just
still
smut.
gonna read them.
There's
And guess
canning,
what?
like how to can vegetables on Kindle Unlimited. They're
Yeah.
terrible. Don't follow those books. You'll get sick.
Botulism.
Thank you. I
Jinx.
couldn't think of what the disease was or whatever.
Bacteria.
But it's across genres.
Yeah. Because there's
Which is why
a very low point
be
of
healthy
entry.
and read smut.
Yeah, exactly. Avoid botulism. Read smut. This could be our World War II propaganda.
T-shirt.
Yeah.
Another T-shirt. We have so many
That one I
T-shirts
can
coming out of
make.
this episode.
I can do
Let's
that
go.
one. I don't need any
Doing it.
skills.
We need some kind of. Oh, can we have Marcus? We need we need some kind of like person or like animal that's like our Uncle Sam, but we hate the government. So like, you know, let's not.
It needs
You
to
know,
be
Marcus
is
an
already
orc
on a
or
shirt.
a gargoyle,
Yeah.
or maybe
Oh, a
even a
gargoyle.
tentacled creature. I'm on it.
Something.
Again,
'Cause it's
if
gotta be
you are a
pointing.
graphic designer,
Yeah. Hit us up. We'll pay
With
you
like
some good
8
money.
8 arms.
listen, put your talents to good use.
Help us out.
Oh shit, I was gonna say something. Oh no. It was good.
Oh no.
Oh, okay,
It
wait.
was good.
This was an oopsie corner from last week when I was scrolling through my books looking for gargoyle books. I don't know how we did not talk about Cthulhu last week.
We didn't.
We did not talk about Cthulhu
We did not.
for sea
And
creatures.
detachable dicks.
Yeah, and detachable dicks. What were we thinking?
Dongarang.
I saw someone like had that in their Kindle library on a Facebook group, and I was just like, "Oh, we have a half a podcast episode about that book." And they were like, "Is it good?" And I was like, "Well,
It's not terrible.
it's not terrible,
Not
Wait,
good
maybe-
but
either.
there's some things that
maybe we-
need to be made fun of."
Did we talk about this last week? And I was just very sick and it just
No, we talked
mentioned
about it in like
briefly.
episode
Okay.
in season 1. We talked about it in like
Okay.
one of our very first
Yes.
episodes. We talked about it.
Yeah.
But I think it deserves honorable mention because, and this is a big spoiler, it's a detachable dick and he fucks himself with it.
Yeah, he does.
Or she fucks him with it.
Yeah. And she
Yeah.
also gets fucked by it
Yeah.
Right.
without him.
Yeah.
Without
also.
knowing
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
what it is.
real, right?
And there's also like gorgons in that story. It's very sad because someone dies. But gorgons kind
I
of
don't remember any of
kind of
this.
fall into this category because like they turn people into stone, so you know.
Yeah.
I love gorgons.
Can you still fuck if you're turned into stone by a gorgon?
Yes.
No.
I mean,
if you are
if
frozen,
you have
With
the
an erection?
appendage,
right.
Ah.
If you're turned to stone with a hard on.
But can you be
Then-
unturned from stone? Is it temporary or is it final?
True love's
well,
fuck.
you tell us.
True love's fuck. That would. Can you imagine actually fucking a stone penis?
Can you imagine like
Connected
you
to
get
something.
on it and then
you-
they wake up?
She
Right.
fucks him in Rook's grave. He's a stone dick
Well,
in that one.
True.
He's like marble, yeah.
Yeah.
He is marble.
He is marble.
But marble, okay, I guess when I think of stone, I'm thinking of like an actual
Marble is
gargoyle.
porous.
And like marble
Like-
is at least like smooth.
Smooth. Yeah, you're thinking of like a porous.
I'm thinking of like, yeah, like an
thing?
outside gargoyle that's like on a.
Right. It's bumpy and rough.
Yeah, like
Just
That's how you get
slap a
some
condom on
kind
there.
of-
You're good to go.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna be.
That's what I was
great.
gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do 2 condoms. You know,
Hello,
double
infection.
wrap it for just.
Hello, micro.
I was always told that was a bad idea because of friction.
It's your
Maybe.
fucking concrete. It's.
Okay, I guess you got a point.
Just like I guess we just need to lube it up and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Be
2
fine.
condoms, extra lube. You're good to go.
If you have enough lube, everything's
You
fine.
can do
Everything's
anything. It's fine.
Maybe
The
some hand
motto
sanitizer
of-
afterwards just to, kill off any extra.
But if he's if he got turned to stone when he's standing up and he has an erection,
Yeah, just
I'm
bend
just-
over and then
Can
back
you-
up.
well, that's only gonna work if you're the same height, if you're the correct height.
Get a box.
Get a step
True.
stool.
Get a step stool.
Okay. As somebody that is very short in real life,
Yeah, same.
I was gonna say, I'm
Um,
tall. I don't have this problem.
Yeah,
I'm like 5'2" if I stand up straight, people.
5'3" here. Not much. Yeah,
Sometimes you need a little assistance.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, the odds of
happens.
this working out like perfectly are not great.
Worst case
Okay,
scenario,
but it's
you just
like-
need a running start.
A running backwards start.
Or just forward and then just jump.
Ow.
Okay.
and
What
just
if you
drive
knock
on.
him over?
There you go. Yeah, knock
And
him
he-
over.
But what if you knock him over and then he shatters?
breaks?
Yeah. You just
As long
find
as the dick
his
is intact.
Yeah.
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 Yep, then you have a dildo.
Okay.
You're good.
I'm so sorry to everyone listening. Last week we were just fun facts about everything, and this week we're deep diving into t-shirts
It's
and
taking a turn.
Gorgon
This is
stoned
high
people
quality
and-
content.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for listening to our Christian Minecraft podcast.
Yes.
Once
Yes.
again.
Once again. Yep.
So we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely.
Well, thanks for listening. You'll catch us again next week talking about more monsters for Monster May. Maybe there will be a live read of some kind about monsters. And
Get ready.
Yeah. Like, subscribe, leave us a review, share with your friends. Maybe not
Send us
this
your graphic
episode.
designs.
Yeah, send us your fan art.
Please.
We want to see it all.
We want to make merch.
We do. We do.
We'll credit you appropriately.
Yeah.
Please.
All right, we'll see you all next week.
Bye.
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 Thank you so much for listening to the Feral Friday podcast. Join us every Friday for unhinged shenanigans, books, games, and more. You can find us on Instagram at Feral Friday Pod. Did you know we have a website? Visit us at www.feralfridaypod.com. Make sure to give us a like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. If you'd like us to cover a particular book or series, please send us an email at bferal@feralfridaypod.com. Happy reading!
Feel Friday.